Hello, people of the world and YouTube. I am Sesto500 and I am playing Celestia again. So, if you've come here, you've come to learn more about space. I've been studying space for about 6 years. Just forget about my age. Who cares? I still have, because I absolutely love it. You could check out my last video. Yeah, what was I talking about in my last video? Oh yeah, I was talking about distance and how everything works. Like, the logistics. Kind of. Okay. What I've come here to talk to you about today is about, okay, so as you can see, all these galaxies. That's a whole lot. Let's see. Let's go to our sun. Let's go to it. We're gonna go. We're going. Oh, we're there. Okay. That's our sun. That's what it is. That, I believe, is that's Venus. I don't know where Mercury is. Who cares? So I've come here to talk to you about the birth of a sun or a star. And, yeah, the birth of our star, or a star in particular, just any star, naturally. This is how it normally works. Okay, you see, like, dust clouds? Like, you always see, like, the pillars of life. Yeah, like, dust like this, kind of. Yeah. Or if you've ever heard of nebulas, the pillars of life are nebulas. That's just what it is. It's a nebula. And what nebulas do is they're generally dead stars. They're the leftovers of a star. And they form new stars. That's what they do. They dust around, like the dust in the nebula forms together in a circle, like it would look something like this right here. A little bit less brighter, but it would be swirl. It would swirl. And then it would come together to form a star. So, like, let's say in the middle right here is the star, and just get rid of the rings. That's the star. It's kind of like that. And the sun or a star is like almost nuclear. Well, generally it is. And okay, there's this thing that the solar lights, the things that you would normally see, like the North Pole, South Pole, all that, and you see lights in the sky. That's gas, and that's created by something that our sun does. Our sun gives off these flares, like flares of, I don't know, like you could say fire, I guess. Yeah, sure, whatever you want to call it. And they're called solar flares. And they would normally just come off anywhere. But the reason they're created is because of atoms being fused together is fusion, and because of that fusion, the high compression would explode, and it would go miles and miles out from the sun. And sometimes the flares will go out all the way, go out pretty far. They're traveling and traveling. And let's see, where's Earth? There it is. They would travel all the way to Earth. Okay, I don't know why I went inside of Earth. It's really weird. Why am I inside of Earth? Okay, let me zoom out. Yeah, but they would travel all the way to Earth, And you know how Earth has magnetic fields? Yeah, that's the same thing. Like, that's the reason. Because if we didn't have magnetic fields and a flare hit us, we would be dead. We'd be scorched. Yeah, okay, so you don't want that to happen. And let me turn down our speed. Yeah, we would be scorched. And nobody likes scorchation, I guess. You could call it that. And what our magnetic fields do is generally the solar... Wait, let me get out a little bit. The solar flares would be coming from the sun. And okay, let's say my pointer is the solar flare. Solar flare is coming. Our magnetic field stops the solar flare and it weakens it, and then it bends around to the back of our magnetic field. Then it finds a way in because it weakened the magnetic field so much. But the magnetic field did weaken, and it also weakened the solar flare. So, which means the solar flare would give off a gas because it's weakened and it's no longer, you know, like plasma, all that stuff. So it'd come in, but the gravity of Earth would pull it in, so it would have a weird orbit. So it would come through like that, and that's the North Pole, but it's not really. That's not really the North Pole. So it would, since this is the North Pole, I think it would come around and go there, like that. And yeah, that's fusion. That's why we have the Northern Lights and all that good stuff. And yeah, it's weird. And after a while of a sun being alive, or a star, I keep on saying sun, and I feel like I'm stupid. After a star being alive, after a long time, like, you cannot live this long. Nobody has ever lived this long, and you will not live this long. I know that for a fact. This is a long time. The star would use up all of its fuels. And did you know iron can corrupt the star if it gets to the core? So, like, let's say you somehow opened up the star and you threw like an iron pan. Boom, you just killed everybody. Yeah, I know. What the iron does, it gets to the core, it corrupts it. And then since it corrupted it, it would like be gone. And the gravity is so intense at the core of the star that the whole entire star will collapse on itself. And sometimes you'll get a supernova, like most of the time you'll get a supernova. Sometimes you'll get a hypernova if the star was like strong enough. And a hypernova is just generally stronger, and normally, well, not normally, but sometimes if a star is strong enough, the gravity would be so intense that when it collapses on itself, it will explode, and in that explosion, in the middle of that explosion, you would get a black hole, a tear in space, a literal tear in space, and that's what a black hole is. And in the middle of our galaxy is a black hole, but it's a supermassive black hole, and how that gets formed is when a star that would create a black hole, when it explodes, it would create one black hole, and then another star that explodes and creates a black hole will get near the other black hole, and they'll just swirl around each other and fuse together and create a bigger black hole, and then it'll do that again and again and again and again, creating a supermassive black hole. And that's our theory of why we're gravitationally pulled towards the why everything is orbiting this one point in our galaxy, or why that, or why there's gravity in the middle of galaxies. Galaxy? I don't know. Yeah, that's what that is. So, zoom out. So that's almost the life and death of a star. There's many other ways how it works. Let's see. I think it's been long enough. Yeah, I think it has. So, if you want me to explain more of what of how a star dies or lives, like different ways, then comment me. Go ahead. Even though I don't get a lot of views, I don't care. If you feel generous enough, please do. And tell your friends. Subscribe today to become my friend. And like this video. Do not dislike. That is bad. And so goodbye.